that setup, that's Oyer Choizer, is so to speak falling apart from inside itself. What happens if a stranger comes and he was not privy to this whole deal that people made among themselves? Does that disrupt the entire setup? So this is what Sodom and Gmora attempted to do. The Herrick society also. But their society completely lacked a divine principle to the extreme. Strangers don't exist. That will not be, this is not what we call Oyer Yosher and Oyer Choizer. Oyer Yosher and Oyer Choizer means both are Oyer. Oyer Choizer is also Oyer. Except it's an Oyer that needs to be translated on the worldly level. Which means the Oyer comes and illuminates and tells you this is what the truth is, and you say, but I don't see this truth in my environment. Doesn't happen automatically. So then you go and you establish rules and settings that will conform to this principle, will be reflective of this principle. Why do you do that? Because the Oyer Yosher has illuminated, has made a statement. And the Oyer Choizer cannot fully appreciate the statement, but it can completely reject it. Can I take a census over here? You with me?
No.
No? You with me? You with me?
Can I ask a question about it?
First answer my question.
Because
I asked the others, so. You look like you understood what I'm saying.
I'm following
You following the argument? You with me?
But if a question arises.
You understand?
I'm not entirely sure.
I just lost it after Stone.
What?
And right after Stone, I lost it.
Sodom lost. Okay, but up to Sodom you understood?
Up to Stone.
Sodom has been wiped off the face of the earth.
I know. That's why I understand it.
You understand it?
So the people who are building the doors and the gates and the lock, they still understand that they're doing it because of the Oyer Yosher.
Yes.
But it's not enough to live by. The Oyer Yosher is not enough to live by itself.
Oyer Yosher is not enough to maintain that principle. Let me tell you a little story. There's a halacha in Mishnayos that says a person is in the field or in the desert. He walked out to the desert, and because of this long journey, he lost count what day in the week it is. And he doesn't know when Shabbos will come up. So there's halachas how he has to behave during this time of uncertainty. He's allowed to do certain things that he needs to for sustenance. But then he has to avoid anything else. And there are all kinds of different rules how he has to behave. So this is a Mishnah. Mishnah is normally learned with small children. So one of the small children that was learning this Mishnah was the Yisrael Ruzhinus. Yisrael Ruzhinus was the grandson of the magician Maggid. And he was learning this Mishnah as a little child. And his Rebbe was explaining to him what it means that a person doesn't know his Shabbos. So Yisrael says, I don't understand. The sky looks different than Shabbos. How can you be confused? How many of us have seen the sky, have experienced that the sky is different than Shabbos? As a result of that, there's no way you can make a mistake between Shabbos and Sunday. In other words, this Oir Yosher is there, but it doesn't penetrate the thickness of the world. It's there, but it doesn't penetrate. Therefore, in order for that to be maintained, you have to actually replicate it on the world you live. How do you replicate it on the world you live? You have sirens on our. Oh, Shabbos is coming, gentlemen, ladies. Don't forget Shabbos is coming. All right. But it's important to understand that, yes, this is Oyer Choizer. It's also an Oyer. This Oyer is also imbued with the effect of the truth of this element. But that inspiration is not sufficient to accept it fully, and therefore it has to be translated at the one level. All right, Baruch.
I'm here.
Okay, Baruch.
I got confused with this moshel that you're giving about upstairs, where you were saying about locks and doors, building different things in order to establish ownership, right? So, where from Oyer Yosher perspective, it's not enough to.
Oyer Yosher, you don't need it.
Exactly. So when it's not, So you have to build all those things from the worldly perspective. But you were then saying that it's that from the clash of or Yosher and Choizer oisies come out, and these locks and doors and all these different things that establish the ownership in the world. They are those oisies. They are those oisies.
Mm-hmm.
So what is then Oyer Choizer statement? What is the Oyer Choizer statement? Oyer Yosher statement is that there is
Oyer Choizer statement is, I don't fully understand what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but it's not. It doesn't hold water right now. I have to establish it in more concrete terms. On a concrete level, if I know this is mine and this is yours, I know what you're talking about. You're saying this general area is mine. This is mine. Does not sit well.
it's more than that. You just say mine, yours. You have to protect it. You say you have to.
Well, that's what happens. That's exactly what you're saying. You're just saying that mine doesn't work. I will know that this is yours when I see a fence around it and I can't just walk in straight. So then I know this is yes.
At the same time, you're saying that there's still an element of the Yor Yosher, because if I do see the fence, I won't just knock it down and come in anyway.
That's right. Because
That's why the Oyer Chayzer agrees with the Yor Yosher,
recognizes the Yoryosher.
recognizes.
You know, there was I think
Otherwise, you would just break down the door.
Right.
there was a short video played of the Rebbe. They have each day they play a. I couldn't hear the sound, but I saw the translation. And the Rebbe is saying that there was a attorney general, a Jewish attorney, must have been a Jewish attorney general for many years in New York, and the Rebbe is repeating the conversation he had with him, and he said, "Look, you know, the Rebbe challenged him. He said, you, over these years, you've made the punishment greater and greater in order to stop crime." And the Rebbe said to the Fabringen, what's needed is to reinstitute a moment of prayer in the schools. That there will be, the Eibishter will be...
Or Yosher.
Yes.
It's a good illustration.
Huh?
It's a good illustration.
Yeah. Okay. And it's also a perfect demonstration of the other way around. If you have exclusively the arguments of the Chaser, without the illumination of the Yosher, it does not work. Look at our world. With all the threats, with all the punishment, all the prisons are filled to capacity and beyond. Nothing. All right. So again, let's say inside what we just now learned. So now we will have it. We'll declare it as went through it, complete. All right. The line begins with the word be-orech, which is the same line we started this morning. 8 lines from the bottom on page Chofalev on the top section. The reflection, the similar thing of this, from this mashal of the Talmud of the two Chachomim who are arguing and they are dismantling each other's idea, and then he come back with a re-establishing argument. We can understand this Indian is a mashal, is a dogma, of how Kelim are created Lamayla.
Rabbi Paltiel? Since it's a Thursday night, I feel like I have the privilege to interrupt. I still don't understand, after all that we just said, where is the connect between the argument of the two Talmidei Chachamim and the Seichel Gedela and Katana and the clash of Oyer Yosher and Oyer Chayzer? All of these are the same thing?
Yep. The clash of Oyer Yosher and Oyer Chayzer is where the Talmid Chacham 1 said the halach, and Talmid Chacham 2 cannot accept the halacha because he has a completely different view and rejecting
this is
it.
like Yosher arguing with Oyer Chayzer?
And it goes the other way around. The Oyer Chayzer is arguing with Yosher. You try to convince me of this seichel, and I don't accept it.
Right. Okay, number 2 is Or Chayzer.
Right.
And then who comes up with the Seichel Ketana? Number 1?
I'm sorry, who comes up what?
With the Seichel Ketana.
Seichel Ketana comes back the Oy Choizer. If you attack my Seichel, I'm going to find ways to defend it.
So Or Chayzer is the defense of the first Talmud Chacham.
That's the second one. It depends who we call the first one. Oy Choizer is the one who is defending his svara. The Yosha says this, and the Choizer says, "Oh no, I can't accept that. The only way I can accept it is by putting it in this context and in these words."
Okay. And that's the Seichel Ketana.
And that's Seichel Ketana.
So he's the one who
Okay.
introduces the letters.
We haven't shown how this illustrates the Nimshal yet. Is that right?
Okay. Well, I will by your permission.
Yeah, well, you have my permission. Okay, I'm done.
All right. So let's look inside. This thing is reflected in Mishavas HaKelim. And Mishavas HaKelim again, I have to introduce the concept, not explain Kelim, but just how do Kelim come into this? Just like words and oisius are not seichel dependent. In other words, if I don't understand your svara, your idea, I still understand your words. The words are universal. Same words are used to argument. The argument seichel has to buy potatoes. It's a decay. My point is that you should put your seichel into my cave. I'm a potato merchant. Give me the seichel through the ACs that I use in my supermarket. This is where the ACs come in. Shalidei hakoras or Yosef and Choser, that as a result of the hit of the Yosef and the Choser, shesois imzelozeh, where they are objecting to one another, noiflim oisios fall out. Shezehu ki inyan nefilas hasoga. This falling of oisios is similar to hasoga, falling nefilas hasoga, with the hasoga that he had earlier. It fell because you came and you destroyed it. You had kashas. And Mama Sogi does not stand. Resent is Hava Hakeli. From this interchange, from this experience, come to be the Kelim. Okay. Shezehu k'mei hasoga haktano. The kelim are reflected in our moshel of the hasoga haktano, of the small hasoga, shenaso alidei hanfilo mehasogos, that came about by the fact that his idea fell apart. The idea fell apart, and then in order to reestablish it, he brings in arguments at a much lower level that will allow this hasoga to stand. She'eino be-orech ha-hasoga hakodemes. These arguments that he presents are not comparable to the earlier hasoga. in what way are these arguments lower, smaller than the early Hasaga? In that the early Hasaga spoke about the truth of the nefesh. Like Rama says, there's a motor ish and mamsikol nimtzot. There's one source for everything that exists. And he has established certain principles, and he has said there are many people and each person has a place in his world. And you cannot interfere with that. This is the Hasaga, this is the great, big Hasaga. But when this is being rejected, he's not able to really accept it. Then he has to create other kinds of kelim, other kinds of oisias with which to reestablish that principle. And he cannot reestablish that principle on the same lofty principle. Listen, this is machshava hakduma deyad. This is a Motzei Rishon wants it like that. He says, I don't sense that. I'm a worldly entity. I don't see my potato doesn't tell me that. I'm a potato man merchant. And I know that my potatoes, if I don't lock them up in a lock and key, they will be emptied in no time. By unwanted guest. So to say that there is one real truth over here that defines what's mine and what's yours, I don't see it. So therefore, in order to explain what the Oiv Yosher has, the message of Oiv Yosher has to establish it in a different kind of case. That's not my phone. Someone's phone has disconnected.
How about your phone? Does it look good?
Oh. I guess it was me. It didn't look like before.
Welcome to IDT Connect. Welcome. At the tone, please record your name followed by the pound key.
Abba Paltiel.
Thank you. You are participant number 4.
Sorry. Okay. Okay, so now let's go continue at the end of that line. Hooray! Thus we see. That okay, let's try and follow these words. The creation of the kelim, from the oisies that are contained in the oisies. Let us see if we can now identify these two categories, the kelim and the oisies shebehoyes. The oisies shebehoyes means this. Yes, indeed, we say that there is a Motzei Rishon, there is a devine that creates the world, and everything is one with him. There cannot be possibly any kind of violation of that reality. And what is that reality? This is the oilers that come from the truth, from the godly truth. The reality is that the oilers say there are many people and each person has his domain. At that point, that each person has his domain, you don't have to declare it. It's declared by the Creator Himself, and it's obvious, so to speak. This is here. This is here. There's no confusion there at all. But now, let's understand. Since there are multiple domains, it is true that the establishment and the maintenance of the security, of the safety of the multiple domains comes from above. But nonetheless, there is a multiple domain, which means there is a statement: this is mine, this is yours, this is his. These statements mean that in that initial Oyer Yosher that defines that there are multiple domains, there are oisias, there are ways of expressing what the truth is. It is not something which flows directly, which is directly the unity, the initial unity, but it can now identify different domains. This identifying means of identifying multiple domains is called oisias. If you have to contrast one thing to the other, how do you contrast it? By saying this is his and this is this. These oisias are inherent in the Oyer Yosher. And from these oisias I created the kelim. What does that mean? The oisias say this is mine, this is his. Each one has his place. How do you manifest, how do you translate this multiple ownership on the worldly level? And make a fence, which is a keli for these denominations. Initially, you didn't need a fence, but once you go down to oisias, this is mine, this is yours, then that enables, that gives the bent to the keli, making a fence, to establishing their individual property, not by virtue of the godly statement, but how it is reflected in the world. Yes? Baruch, yes?
I'm looking for the mute button. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So I'm trying to follow. The oisias are inherent in the Oyers. They come equipped with these means of explaining themselves to people who don't understand automatically, basically. Right? Is that another way of saying
well,
this?
not you're taking it. No, this is much further down. This is when the oisias fall out already. Inherent in the oil there is oisias.
Why do you have to have them? Why do the Oyers have to have these oisias? Sounds like they're built in case there should be a need for explanation or definition.
There are built-in oisias, even if there is no need for explanation.
But they don't come out until there is.
They don't come out until there is, right? But inherent in the oil there is the oisias.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to make a very brief statement because we don't have the chance to get into this. But the inherent in the oil there are oisias. Because the oil is a state of manifestation, of expression. Anything that's maintained internal doesn't need oisias. But anything that manifests externally inherently needs oisias by which it expresses itself. This we'll need to take on and discuss a little bit more. This is the same thing as we said before, that even in thought, there are oisius. Thought, I'm thinking to myself, I don't need oisius.
So when
1 second. Thought is to himself. That's what you need oisius for. The answer is yes, it's to himself. But in himself, there are two different categories. There is what I believe and what I know. Without my belief, I have no question at all. Everything is. But if I want to translate that belief on my knowledge, awareness, then I have to have oisius. In other words, I have to bring my belief to teach myself what I believe, which is done through oisius. I don't have to argue for it. I have to prove it, but I still have to make a statement. Yes.
So when the inherent oisius come out, this is what makes Cain.
This would make it right. That's
So
right.
It's like, again, just going back to the truth of ownership and the fence and the lock. So the Kalim really are, in the sense of Eires, on a much lower level.
That's right. Kalim is a replication of the Oiris.
But in Orin Sof, you would not find oisius.
There's other statements, but that we're not going to go there. But generally speaking, Oiris of the that which you know, not because you know, but because you are, doesn't have oisius.
Right, Paltiel, you want to daven Meir?
Yeah. All right.
Thank you for your patience with my questions.
This will be it for this evening.
Tonight.
Gute Nacht.